live on YouTube. In this video we are going to speak about sex. Yeah, in order to become famous we should speak something very famous, and when I was going through the most search keywords, I found sex has been searched by many people, so why should I not speak about sex actually? But before that, let me ask you, can you remember the story of creation? If you don't know, let me brief it. There is a God creates the heavens and the earth, then he creates animals, then at the end he creates the man, and then he creates the woman from his ribs. And what happens, the man and the woman do an act, and but it happens due to a sin. So then after this activity they give birth to their first child called Cain. Then they give birth to Abel, then Seth, generation after generation after generation. Now we are in 2019. So anyway, when we look at the first man and the woman, they did an activity, right? So after that activity only they gave birth to their first child. That's how they formed a new life. So that activity is called sex. There's nothing controversial. And the thing is, now when we look at our humans, not just the human, all the animal kingdom, there should be a male animal and a female animal. Gametes from the male animal and the gametes from the female animal has to fuse together in order to form life, form a new life. This fusion is very important. Why? Because when there is this fusion only, our genetical information passes from one generation to the other generation. At the same time, it is important to evolve from one state to the other state. That's what Darwin said. So the theory is known as the evolution theory. We will speak about the evolution theory in a different video, but in this video we are going to speak about the formation of gametes. Told you, male gametes and female gametes. We are going to speak about this formation. This formation is known as gametogenesis. Gametogenesis is the biological process which by a haploid or a diploid cell undergoes cell division and differentiation in order to form a mature haploid gamete. Okay, might sound Greek, but let me try to explain. Anyway, so this gametogenesis, this whole process has two steps. The first step is known as the common path. The second step is known as the individual path. This, when we talk about this common path, why it is known as the common path? Because now we know in our body we have a cell type called as precursor cells, right? These precursor cells has the ability to become any kind of cell in our body. They can become a somatic cell, which is on the skin. They can become a nerve cell. They can become a muscle cell. They can become any type of cell. So this precursor cell, during this process from precursor cell to gametes, there is a middle station, a cell called as gametogonia. So this precursor cell to gametogonia is common in males as well as in females. So that's why it is known as a common path. Now, let's look in deep. This precursor cell has a name. This precursor cell is known as primordial germ cell. Okay, this primordial germ cell from the dorsal endoderm of the yolk sac migrate along the hindgut to the gonadal ridge. Okay, the gonadal ridge. So during this migration they undergo a cell division called mitosis. So then once these cells are reached the gonadal ridge, it is known as gametogonia. And this gametogonia in males are known as spermatogonia, and in females are known as oogonia. Okay, now this spermatogonia undergo a process and become male gametes, which is known as sperm. So this process is known as spermatogenesis. That oogonia undergo a process and become the female gamete, which is known as the egg or the ovum. So that process is known as oogenesis. So the second step of gametogenesis can be divided into two categories as spermatogenesis and oogenesis. So they are individual pathways depending on the gender, so it is known as the individual path. But in this video we are not going to speak about those the second path, because we don't have much time. In a different video we will see each other with those information. Until that, hope to see you soon. I'm Antru Sinthujan. Bye.